the Canon 50mm f1.8, the electrophysics astroscope, and the Canon EOS T3i. That's my setup. So I went out on the morning of August 19th. These are 3 separate 5-minute segments, but I fast forwarded them 2x for brevity. And these are the highlights. Now I was out longer than that. I started like at maybe 2:30 and I went to like 4:30, but those 5-minute segments that didn't have any action, I didn't include them. And that's just the way it is. So what I'm doing is, if you're looking east and Cassiopeia and Andromeda are on your left, then I'm looking south of that, but more east. And I was looking up towards the zenith, like the zenith is toward the top of the screen. Cassiopeia and Andromeda, they would be to the left of your screen. It was a pretty clear night that night, and I was able to get some pretty dark skies. Well, the contrast was good. At f1.4, I could use ISO 400, and that helped a little bit. Starlink version 3, do you know they're 2,000 kilograms each, and each one has a solar panel 60 meters long, which is approximately 190 feet or so. Oh, there's a transient phenomenon, who knows what it is. And they use argon as a propellant. They have this thing called, oh, that looked like a really fast meteor. They have a Hall effect thruster, and it has to run constantly because they're in, oh, look at that, that was a good one. They have to run constantly because of atmospheric drag. Remember, they have oh, there's another one. They had a solar sail 190 feet long, which is creating all sorts of drag because they're in extreme low Earth orbit. This Hall thruster, or the second segment now, this Hall thruster has to run constantly, although they're supposed to be last for 5 years. So at 2,000 kilograms, I would warn that a big chunk of it is probably just the argon propellant. Oh, and they want to have 10,000 of these. Oh, look at that. 2 in a row. What's up with that? No, it's a triangle. It's a freaking triangle formation. Holy moly. Wow. A triangle formation. So I think there's like already 8,000 Starlink of the various types out. But they want to go to version 3. It's supposed to be a distributed data center and AI in orbit. Now, I'm just saying what I read. You know, I did an AI search, and it showed the links that it used, and I double-checked them. And then there's a whole bunch of Reddit posts about it. You know, oh, and don't forget that there are other things. There's the Iridium constellation, which has like 66 satellites. There's American GPS. I forget how many they are. There's the Russian GPS. Oh, there's the Chinese 1,000 sails, which is actually going to be closer to 40,000. But they're much smaller and lighter. And, well, you know, if I go out after 11:30, but before 2:30, you almost see nothing. Why? Because these things reflect the sunlight. And if the sun is on the opposite side of the Earth, and they're in extreme low Earth orbit, they can't reflect the sunlight, so you don't see them. And that's the best time to come out. Now, as you get towards morning, that is like, you know, 3:30, 4 o'clock, 4:30, right before dawn, depending on the season, then you'll start to see more of them because they reflect sunlight. This is the third segment. So I sped them up to 2x fast forward, just for brevity. Yeah, so Starlink is, you know, it's going to be massive. They got 8,000, you got to put another 10,000. All right, the Chinese, they're small, but there's going to be so many of them. And they're all going to be at varying heights, from like 280 miles to like 550 miles. Plus whatever else they think of. Who knows what else they're going to think of. And they're always going to replace them. So there's going to be a Starlink version 4 eventually, etc., etc. And so we're just going to see a lot of stuff. Now, something that weighs 2,000 kilograms, well, empty, it must weigh somewhat less, but it's got this big solar panel. As it gets lower in the atmosphere, say when they deorbit it, it's going to break up and get messy, and maybe there'll be more fireballs because of it. Also, I want to know, what does argon do to the atmosphere at those altitudes? Are they going to affect something? I think I just seen a real fast meteor. What else? Oh yeah, well, are they going to affect the electromagnetic environment, because they're going to be ionized, and they're going to take this gas, and it's a heavy gas, and it generally isn't at that atmosphere. So you're pumping, oh look, there's a deep sky object. Oh, what's that? Look at that. Wow, check that out. 2, 3, and look at there, it's a train, that's what it is. It's probably a Starlink train or something. You want to see weird stuff like that? They post on the news, there's another deep sky object out to the left there. They post on the news, oh, Starlink's going to blast off 2 days from now at this time. And they're always carrying a loaded. Sometimes they carry dummy stuff, but often they put up mostly real stuff. So you go out the day or the next day after, and then they release the satellites in orbit, but then they got to go into the real orbits, and then they start spreading around, and that's the best time to see them if you want to see them. But I'm sick of Starlink and all these other transient phenomena, except for meteors, because they're like midgets spinning around the Earth. Yeah, like I'm sitting on my front stoop and I'm trying to look at the sky. And what is it? These mosquitoes are attacking me. And that's what Starlink is like. They're just an annoying nuisance. And who knows what else they're doing? I mean, your cell phone could send a signal to this constellation and get a signal back from this constellation. Who could say that they can't beam signals into your brain also? Look, doesn't that look like 2 eyes? That looks like the Ferengi constellation, I call it. Right? It's got big ears, shape of a head. Yeah, so the Ferengi constellation, Starlink version 3. Oh, there's a couple meteors. Now, not a lot, just a couple. I'll post more highlights. Don't worry about it.